Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Agung Triawan from 6C, and today I'm gonna show about the trend issues nowadays by psycholinguistics. And I take a theme or a title with an influence of foreign language term to acquisition language on students who watching learning videos through YouTube. The first one is before we go through our issues of psycholinguistic, we should know what is psycholinguistic first. The term of psycholinguistic is a combination of psychology and linguistics. Both are the brains of science. Psychology is defined as the systematic study of human experience and behavior, or as the science that studies the behavior of man and other animals, Knight and Hilgert in other animals. It from Knight and Hilgert in Abu Ahmadi from 1992. And then there are some definitions about psycholinguistic from the expert. The first one is psycholinguistic is a field of study that combines psychology and linguistics. It covers language development, and it's from a Liam Kiat Boy. And from the E.M. Hutch, he said, psycholinguistic is the study of human language, language comprehensions, language productions, and language acquisitions. And from language acquisitions, we should know what is the definitions about that. The language acquisitions is the process by which humans acquire the capacity to perceive and comprehend language. In other words, gain ability to be aware of language and to understand it, as well as to produce and use words and sentences to communicate. So the language acquisitions is like pemerolehan bahasa in Indonesians, and it refers to how we acquire our language, and it divided into two parts. The first is first language acquisitions, which is our mother tongue, and then is a second language acquisitions. It means that our foreign language that we have learned and we can communicate it with those language. And then what is language acquisitions through YouTube? YouTube is the most popular video sharing website where millions of videos can be found online, especially videos for learning a language. Students can use YouTube to get many language learning videos to help them study the language. Not only getting many videos that can be used as teaching materials in the classroom, teachers can also create their own English videos for their students or even for everyone. The rise of content on social media is a routine spectacle of young people. This phenomenon also appears in the students. The content available on YouTube has become a talk and trend that has been favored by the students. And then a related case is to tell about how the language acquisitions of students who have speech delays. This is related to be more prominent character of language as a system and language as a person. Personal behavior, namely mental. Mental, and in learning how to acquire a language, many parents allows their students to play on a smartphone or other technological device without realizing it. This will have many negative effects that can change child behaviors. If they have smartphones very often, and then the use of YouTube among students who choose to watch the content on YouTube regularly according to the video upload schedules of the markers. In addition, some students also have a YouTube account and upload their own content. For some students, the content available on YouTube can also be used to help improve the understanding of the lecture materials they receive in class. But then, however, for our conclusions, we can say that for mentally, some of the students are afraid and don't dare to talk their peers or with older people. Then there is also when hanging out with his friends, The child is even absorbed in watching himself. They they will wasting their times with their own smartphone and don't care about their environment or the others. They just focus on their smartphones. So this which make their uh, their speech or their language acquisitions is delayed. And then there is also an hanging out with his friends. The child is even absorbed in watching himself on his smartphone, so that it makes the child development slow. So this concept is closely related to the characteristic of psycholinguistic, namely that language as a system and language is able to make change in behavior and personality of students towards psychology, mentality, and in acquiring and understanding a language. Because students rely too much on technology and are rarely invited to talk, it arises that the most students have speech delays and are unable to speak. As a result, the child only accepts the language from the video that he watched from YouTube. The response is that the child may be able to understand the meaning of the person but not be able to respond it back. So most of them just keep quiet. So YouTube not only have an advantage, but they have any disadvantage too. For example, like these trend issues about psycholinguistic nowadays, they will have speech delays to acquire the language, which is they watch it very often, but they don't have time to practice it. So in the psycholinguistics, it will divide it into a disease of psych, and we can research it into psycholinguistics. I think that's all. Thanks for your attentions. I'm sorry if I have a mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.